So here I am with a new movie review for you today, and today it is for the movie The Sound of Freedom, which is a hard-hitting, harrowing movie about the South American slave trade. More in point, the sex slave involving children. This film stars Jim Caviezel, and it's an interesting one, so let's get into it. Hello all and welcome back to the channel and welcome to this here review. Yes, so The Sound of Freedom. This is a 2023 movie starring Jim Caviezel as Tim Ballard. It's a true story. It's based upon true events and we'll come into that. Now this film runs for 2 hours and 11 minutes. It was made on a budget of 14.5 million, but has thus far at the worldwide box office made 190 million, making it one of the biggest independent movies ever made. The film comes at us directed by and co-written by Alejandro Monteverde and co-written by Rod Barr. Now this film here has an interesting backstory in that it seems like no one wanted you to see it. The film was actually made and finished in 2018 and a deal was made with a subsidiary of Fox, a Latin American subsidiary, to release the movie. However, in that time we had the Disney buy-up of Fox, and Disney subsequently saw fit to shelve this film and not want to release it. The producers of the film got money together to buy the film off of Disney so that it could be released, and this was done in part through crowdfunding and the like. The film is produced by Eduardo Carastaguay, who also plays a role in the film. The film also stars Bill Comp and Mena Suvari, unrecognisable though. So Jim Caviezel, who you will know from The Passion of the Christ, among other things, and the TV series Person of Interest. Well worth a watch if you haven't seen it. Now, he plays a former US government agent called Tim Ballard, who brings down paedophiles within America. But he starts to question, is this enough? We're bringing down the paedophiles, but we're not saving any children. We're not rescuing any children. And we start the film off and we're introduced to a couple of young children, and we see them get kidnapped by this rather beautiful, stunning looking woman who's in on the kidnappings. She's part of this ring of individuals that do this, and the children get sent away and all this sort of a thing, and Tim Ballard, he does manage to save one of the children, the younger brother of this sister, of the two of them, but this leads him to question whether he should break away, go rogue, essentially go and do things without the help of the American government and go and try and save this girl. And this is what the story is about. It's about him going over there down to South America to setting up his own, essentially an undercover underground railroad operation, whereby he sets up a flamboyant, expensive retreat where the most discerning of society can go to, pay mega money to go and have, for want of a better term, fun with the children that they have sex trafficked. But this is a cover for him to save these children, and this is how the story progresses, and this is what it is all about until he has to go deeper into the wilderness of South America to rescue this child, this young girl. It's a journey. This film is an emotional journey. Like I said, it runs for 2 hours and 11 minutes and it keeps you gripped the entire way through. It's not action based, it is all story based, and in that we have a story that by the time you come away from this film, you feel you feel like, am I doing enough? Am I, you know, here I am doing this sort of a thing. Here I am living my life day to day when there's these atrocities occurring in the world. And this film makes no qualms about telling you that America is one of the biggest, or the biggest, sex trafficking trades in America. No wonder Disney wanted to shelve it. In the world, sorry, not in America, what am I saying? One of the big sex trafficking trades with children in the world. So, you know, this film, yeah, I believe that certain people didn't want it to be seen. There's certain elements within high up in society that we know are questionable. We know have it just makes you question. It really does. This is a very thought-provoking movie, and it is fantastic in what it does. And Tim Ballard himself, you know, he done a load. He done a load to help a very small number of people over the years that he was doing this. But when you consider that there are millions of people in the slave trade, in the sex slave trade, children, what can be done? It's one of the biggest money-making enterprises up there, going higher than drugs. Yeah, it's very thought-provoking. It's an emotional roller coaster. You come away and you think you are in thought within this film. Now, the musical score for this film is done by Javier Navarrete, who gives us a very a fantastic score that is very chilling as well, and it uses a lot of almost choir kind of music, almost heavenly kind of a sound at times within the film, and this juxtaposes the element of the story that is you know, the worst of mankind, so to speak. But then you've got Tim Ballard there doing what he does, and he's almost angelic in what he has, the journey that he's decided to take and what he's decided to do. So the music kind of counter opposes that, and works in the favour of that character. Yeah, this is probably one of the strongest films that I've seen of the year. Probably the most thought-provoking film of the year, most definitely. It's wonderfully shot. It's wonderfully directed. Wonderfully acted by Jim Caviezel and all those involved. Yeah, it's a film that needs to be seen, that people need to see and take on board. Take it on board. This one's going to sit with me for days.